the adventure continues as I try to figure this out. Oh my. Let's see. I think we're in a good place. Here. Okay. So, as I still learn the ins and outs, I'm gonna message people and let them know that I am streaming, and we'll take it from there. What a chill night for this. I think I kind of needed it. Okay, so we're just about done with our second PAragon suit, and I think that's a good thing. So I'm gonna try to use my phone to manage my chat so it's easier to see what everyone's saying. I'm still kind of new at this, so you know, don't mind me if it's still kind of not very good. I'm still figuring it out, and if you happen to be hanging out tonight and you just want some company, or if you're modeling and you want someone to model with, and I'm not talking about actually modeling because I don't think I'm in the quite proper shape for all of that, then it be that way, I guess. I've been enjoying these little nightly streams with anybody who feels like watching, which I think is me just watching me right now. But it's pretty nice, and it gives me kind of an outlet at the end of the day. You know, life can be stress, but it doesn't always have to be stress. Sometimes it can be not stress, and for those days, I am here. So you can probably tell I'm in less of a cheery mood today than usual. I have had a bit of a long day, and we all know that days like that can really just sap it. But I think a little bit of time with these warsuits can really make a big difference. I wonder if I can get this to go a little higher. I'm going to be doing a little bit of figuring stuff out. Remember, this is an amateur stream, okay? Nobody can truly expect professionalism from me, because I am not a professional, and that's okay. Here we go. I am just figuring it out, one step at a time. There. Well, I don't think that did anything, but good enough. We're getting somewhere. Okie dokie. So, it's another night here in the general DC region. Not that I need any stalkers or anything, but, well, I'm not well enough known to be stalked. So, hey! Hey, Carly, it's good to see you tonight, and thanks for hanging out. It is a pleasure to see you. Yes, you do know where I live, but thankfully, I am one of the goods, I think, for the most part, and any of the bad that I do is quickly glossed over because of the good, I hope. So, let's hope for the best. So last night, the model ended up something like, here, I'm going to try to move this this away so it's easier to see. We are now at this point. Here, I'll turn this on too since you're here and I do this specifically for you. Here we go. Yeah. So, we are now at this point of the model, which is cool. I think this is a pretty good place to be. Let me just move it slightly more and oh, actually, there. And that is actually. So the real model has like this like rigid cloth, but it doesn't work very well if you want to do something dynamic. So this is going to be painted a not green color. This one has the same kind of issue. I needed it to be more dynamic. So I had that happen because it's running. And I wanted a model that can, if it has fabric on it, it needs, yeah, that green stuff is like a body filler, but it's also like a plastic, like a hard plastic that you can mold. It's kind of like a clay that hardens very quickly, or, you know, it cures overnight and it hardens quick enough that you should work with it pretty quickly. So it gives me the option, and I was talking about it in last night's stream, but, you know, something like, you know, something like this, I like to pretend that my little convent here that I have is a not very well funded convent we're very scrimshaw, or whatever the term is. We're not very well funded. Huh? I can't hear you. One sec. Jerry-rigged. Yeah, that's a good term for it. That was CAD. So I like to pretend that we get what we get. We have very few resources and a lot of heart, and we're just trying to do our best with what little we have, which, you know, that's life too, right? We're just trying to do the best with what little we have. I have an amateur stream, and I do the best with what I have. So it's very, very basic, but, you know, even something basic can have a lot of heart, and I don't know, I'm kind of liking this, even though, like, I don't exactly have a bunch of people coming and watching. That's not really the point. I'm getting a lot of joy from the simple act of, you know, just getting some modeling down, showing the world, you know, what this can be, making it something special, you know, that people can enjoy. I'm going to make that camera a little bit smaller. That is a little bit ridiculous. It doesn't have to be that big. There. There. That's a little bit more. Yeah, I did. I ended up having to do it. And Carly's a fan. Put it in my ear. I am not going to do that. But I am glad you're here. Thanks for joining. What I'm doing here is setting up what's a little manual drill, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill into her foot as well. There's a lot of feet stuff going on, but that's not what this is. I'm going to try, without messing up the model, to drill in through the heel to oh god, this is, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna wish for the best. So we're going to see. I guess it would chuck a lot of wood with a 5.56. I don't know, that would be that should really be a conversation between you and Carly. You say you're recon, but I guarantee you Carly here would probably school you a little bit when it comes to guns. I'm not trying to challenge you, I'm just trying to tell you the truth. She knows a thing or two because she's seen a thing or two. Okay, I think I've heard that somewhere. Probably an insurance commercial. That should really tell you about the horrors of really good marketing. Anyway, as we continue, I'm just going to start taking this apart and putting things together and praying to jolly goodness that I'm doing all the right things. I'm usually not. I usually struggle just to get the basics right, but that is just part of a very long process. Now, what I'm doing here is exactly, it is the farmer's chime. We are farmers. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. See, this is why one of those fucking CEOs got shot, because they got into our heads and now we can't get them out. And then they got into our wallets and now we really can't get them out. So what I'm trying to do here, let's see here. I think I'm not supposed to talk politics on the stream, but it's my stream and I can talk about whatever I want. But, okay, so I'm trying to drill through her leg, and the problem that I have with this is it's a deeply manual process, and I'm drilling a hole through what's already a pretty, not rigid structure. So, what I usually use these drills for is, so a lot of the GW guns that you get, the bolter guns, don't come with like a hole in the gun where the bullets come out. It just has like hard plastic. And I agree with most everybody when I say that looks really stupid. So everybody drills little holes in the tips of the guns so that it actually looks like the bullet came from somewhere. That makes more sense to me, but you know, autism. We really care about what things look like. Look, I spent an inordinate amount of time getting the cabling to look right on my models last night. And sure, it's a detail that most people won't notice, but I notice, and I thought it made it look better. Exaction squad box? What's the exaction squad? I have a kill team box here that I'm going to be using, but not in quite the way that you think. So this is a kill team box that I got a while ago. I'm going to lower the light so you can actually see it without all that reflection. Okay, maybe not. So here we go. This is the Sanctifier's kill team box, right? And what it is a bunch of religious zealots. I have actually a spare Arbites. Maybe I'll do a contest for it and see if anybody wants it. But I've got these guys, and I don't really play kill team, but look at them. Aren't they fantastic? And if you switch out some of the heads into sisters' heads, you've got something kind of interesting going on, don't you? But even more interesting than that, if you consider it, maybe I can increase the light a little bit. So I thought, you know, the Triumph of St. Catherine is a pretty cool model. However, what if we took these guys and we did a couple of extra things, like printed out a coffin, take these guys and switch out some of the heads into sisters, and then perhaps maybe I do have tanks, actually. I have 2 tanks right now in my possession. I'll show that. I can show you that right now on camera, actually. So you can see what the tanks... These tanks are actually the ones that got me into it in the first place. And what I mean by got me into it, I mean got me into Warhammer. When we were first figuring this out, and like when I was first trying to figure out like what army I liked, I saw one of these. This is an old school model. It is made out of metal and plastic, and it is a woman on a tank who's playing that organ behind her, and that organ shoots out missiles, and she just plays holy goodness on this thing. I have to finish a few aspects of this, but it looks pretty good for what it is. But it is a tank that shoots out missiles out of the back here, and it is one of my favorite models, and it's kind of the model that got me into the sisters to begin with. I thought it was fantastic. I have 2 of these. This one is the more complete one of the 2. I have another one that I just have to put some finishing touches on it because it's a bit more elaborate. Oh, I found your cat model. Yeah. So this is another one, but it's got a lot more vines on it, and the intention of it is to make it look pretty old and ancient. Cat had lost a model a long time ago, and I guess she stuck it into the back of this tank, and we just found it. Yeah, I guess so, when we were transporting. Yeah, I just happened to find it. So, here's another one right here. And these are the two that I have. Now, that isn't the only ones that they have. It's just the two that I happen to have. And those are called exorcists. This is the skeleton of another one called a rhino. And I'll probably take this and I have to work on it and add some stuff to it. But if I had some extra bits, I could turn this into a full-fledged rhino tank. Right now it's an iron fist tank. It's got a fist there. It's a little bright in here right now, but you can kind of see it, right? So I just need to get some extra bits, stick it on there, and I'll have myself something called a rhino. And that's pretty cool. So you get tanks, you get walkers, you get a whole bunch of other stuff. You get some really interesting... Oh, here's another one. This one's a Space Marine model. But they get things like this. This one's not mine. It was given to me by a friend. I was going to have somebody else paint it, but she became a dickhead. So I'm going to keep this. And I think I'll just hold on to it and see what I do with it. Or maybe I have use it for parts or something. These are kind of fun. So if you like the yellow tank, that was an Imperial Fist tank. And I think it's pretty cool, right? But I'm going to turn back the lights now because I kind of need some. And we're going to get back to it. So I'm drilling a hole through the heel of this Nundum over here. Where the hell? There it is. And there's a couple of reasons why we would want to do something like this. Now, I know it seems kind of strange that I'm just, drilling a hole in my own model's leg. Oh, and yeah, so I was saying, I'm going to be, there's a Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle model, called The Triumph of St. Catherine. It is fantastic. If you get a chance, look it up. The Triumph of St. Catherine. It is a truly elaborate work of art of a model. And it's very cool, very elaborate, and not something I would ever want to risk transporting around. I probably could, but it is also extremely expensive. So I thought to myself, why don't we take that one kill team box, right? And I do have pig feet, don't I? Why don't we... What are you talking about? You actually look like a pig. Don't even start with me. Why don't we take that one kill team and turn that into a real... Yeah, but you didn't lose enough weight. I'll promise you that. No, you definitely didn't lose enough weight to justify that. Besides, you're still not a real Marine Recon anyway. But, like I was trying to say, I'm going to make my own version of the Triumph of St. Catherine. It's going to be a total kit bash, which is something I really like doing. And it allows the creative juices to really flow. Okay, I think I've drilled that enough. Yeah. You're still a chubby little boy, and you still haven't made weight for boot camp yet, so you can't tell me anything in your current state, so don't even try. You have a lot of nerve. AI viewers streamboo.com. Quiet, you. I know a cup is more useful when it's empty, but you are not a cup. And you are hardly empty. You're filled with calories. Alright, let's see now. Hopefully, I've made that thick enough. You're not a Marine yet. And you're talking to two veterans. I get that it's a meme and everything for you. But there's literally two veterans in the room. And you are not one. So don't even play. Ah, okay, I did drill that even perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to super glue that in there. I think I'm going to make it just... Punisher skull caps. Do we look like Blue Lives Matter types? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to troll me? You naughty boy. I should ban you from my stream, never to come back here. How dare you speak ill of the Punisher skull caps? You should go grab a Punisher hoodie. Oh, I drilled right through her leg. See, that's another problem that can happen. So you got to be careful with that. That's okay. It happens. I won't do that. I'm not as mean as you. See, I'm actually nice to my friends, which is why I actually have friends. Oh, shit. Damn. That's what happens. Well, you know, you actually should earn those before you start wearing those, or people are gonna kind of start wondering why you would, you know, wear the gear and do none of the work. Are you sure you have friends? Are those people at the mental clinic are not your friends? You know, no matter what they tell you, they do not. That's just your doctor, and he just likes you because of the insurance money. There. So what I've done here is I'm just gonna put it on the other side to make sure that I've got a nice stupid amount of glue on that, because of course I'm not happy until I've gotten my daily amount of fumes. It's like a cigarette. See, cool jacket man, this is why you're not a real vet. You think we wear Punisher logos, but we really just wear berets, pacol, and make abortion great again hats. And if you were a real veteran, you would understand that. But you're not. You're just a phony. So quit playing. Quit your playing. Don't be messing around like that. Time to get serious. All right, I gotta snap this thing. It's true though. White guys are about this shit, and I'm not entirely sure why. But then again, it did crash the Republican National Convention. So, you know, there's got to be a reason. Where the fuck are? There they are. Oh, I fucked that up already. Hold on. I need to do a little something. Mama's got to concentrate. There. And there. And I messed this all up. See? I make mistakes all the time. You guys are distracting me. Not that I'm complaining. I like being distracted by y'all. Okay. Let me try a little bit more super glue here before things get stupid. Yeah, but why would we be any kind of other vet? Why would he hang out with me if he weren't lib at all? You also should probably consider, if you're meeting liberal vets, there's probably a reason. Yeah, I host Warhammer streams, and you love them. Why wouldn't you want to join them? They're fun. They're easy to talk to. It gives you someone to hang out in the evenings. What's wrong with that? You seem to be enjoying yourself. I think Cool Jacket Man just doesn't have a really true idea of what being liberal means when you've been a vet. But I think at a certain point you just realize that war really is not the answer, unless it's the people who are actually doing the oppressing. And, you know, the enemy is not each other. The enemy is either within or with those who are denying your health coverage. And those are the real enemies. So, you know, consider that next time you start getting on someone's case, you know? Oh, goodness, Cold Jacket Man, just put a fucking lid on it. Nobody came here to talk politics, we're here to talk Warhammer. Both of you. Relax. Oh, goodness, you two are just gonna get into it for a while. Alright, I'm not gonna bother stopping you. I have another PAragon Warsuits to build. So you two can talk all you want about the politics of people that will oppress you regardless. I'm going to begin work on the third and final PAragon Warsuit. So we've got two good, really good, hold on, let me check something here. We actually have people on the stream, that's so cool. I'm so glad that y'all are here. So we've got some really cool stuff happening. A bolt ammo, probably a bolt of ammo, at least a couple of bullets. But I wouldn't do that, at least not for some really good tips. So unless you know my Venmo, that's not happening. Let's see now. Now for the third and final PAragon Warsuit. There are a few things left to do, of course, but once these are pretty much built, we'll primer them and we'll begin the painting process. However, there is one big thing that we need to do. The entire construction of these was built with the express purpose of getting good at this so we can build her later. But I have plans for this. Now you've all seen and enjoyed how much I like modifying the poses of my models. She will be no different. I hate this pose so much. It is so stupid. So what I want to do is give her the old Saint Michael descending upon Satan with a spear pose. And I think that'll look much, much better. But we're not just going to do that. That's a very challenging pose to do to begin with. But it is my goal and it is my dream. If I mess it up so badly that there is no redeeming that model, well, I'll just pick up another one. It's not the end of the fucking world. It's fine. Yeah, it's really... Here, I'll pull it up again. It's really not that great. Like, I might get the last PAragon Warsuit to do this, because that's okay for, like, a lead unit. But this girl is supposed to be epic. But I'm not just going to do that. This is a pretty mid pose. Okay, God, that light is a bit bright. This is a pretty mid pose. And I'm sure we could do a lot better than this. But not only that, I want to add wings to her. Enough wings to kind of give her a seraphim vibe. So while we're doing the Saint Michael pose, we're also going to give her 6 wings total, right? Give it a second. Sorry, y'all. I think we just had a minor issue. Remember, I'm still new at this, and my setup is not exactly perfect. So, my setup is not exactly perfect. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm trying to do a kind of a seraphim pose. Remember, I've been into this for a very long time. So the seraphims and stuff are not a new thing for me. It's my thing. I like angels a lot. I mean, you've seen the tattoo, right? I'm into this stuff. I'm actually really into this stuff. So, I don't want her to hold the head of a decapitated enemy. If you've ever seen the artwork, you know the best reference I can give to you right now, and I don't really want to go through pulling up. Actually, I'll pull up the picture, because I think that will clarify a lot of this. So give me a second while I look this up. And I'll pull this up so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm basing the pose on. And why I want to do it specifically that way. But it will take me just a second, and of course I have to figure out how to do this. Let's see. Give me a bit. Here. Okay, I think this person's got it. So I'm going to use them, and I hope they don't get too upset, but I'm praising them, so how could they get upset with little old me? Okay, give me a sec while I pull this up. Adding, this is new for me, so bear with me. Model. Modela. Okay, and then let's see, URL. I don't know how to do this too well. Properties for models. What if I just share my screen? This is very new for me, so bear with me, okay? Use custom shit done source. Huh? Oh. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's a very kind of specific model that I want to base this on. And it's this character Sanguinius. How do I do this? Again, this is so new for me. Let's see. Okay. You know what? I'll just do it the way I can kind of see it and hope it kind of works. So, No, it doesn't work very well. This is so hard to do, and I'm so new at it, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Ah, here we go. So I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but there's a model here that I like called Sanguinius, and he is what's called a Primarch. Primarchs are very, very cool, and they are like very special characters. And do you see this pose? I don't know if y'all, I'm new at this, I'm figuring it out, but do you see this pose that he's got going on? Now, certainly I cannot make anything this elaborate, but it's a really good way to kind of demonstrate what I'm trying to do here, is her sort of descending with a spear on whatever the hell happens to be in front of her. Now, I don't have to go this elaborate. Like, this is an entire diorama that they've got going on with Sanguinius. Sanguinius is a Primarch, obviously, and well, hopefully I've got everybody still on the stream, because I know that we lost each other for a bit there. But that's what I'm trying to do. Now let me go back to my Twitch stream so I know that people are actually even here. Maybe. Okay, well, we're here. Okay, so that's Sanguinius, that's the model, and that's kind of the idea that I'm copying. He is a Primarch, he is not an angel, but they call him the angel for obvious reasons. It's quite beautiful. I might keep it up there as my own like example, but it gives you an idea of like what I'm working towards. So with that Morven Ball character, I want to give her that kind of pose where whatever she happens to be standing in front of in the model, she's coming down like Saint Michael onto Satan. Now, the question is, do I want to put like a demon in front of her or something? No, I don't think that's necessary, and I'll tell you why. This model can be used on the tabletop, and it's going to be used to descend on whatever happens to be in front of her. So in effect, whatever happens to be in front of her ends up being the thing she's going to kill. So I think she already will look cool with the 6 wings. I think that's really what I'm looking to do, is give her that sort of holy energy. I've already got an angel in my army named Celestine, which you can't even see because it's so freaking bright. I already have an angel, which I still have to kind of finish some of the minor details, but we're at a good place, you know? I'm happy with how it's all turning out. Anyway, let's see here. I'm going to continue, and let's go step by step onto the next part of the process. Let's see. So, let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Not bad so far. Not bad. Let's see. Oh, I still have to put a little... I'm not going to mess with that right now. It's already on its little wire. But let me go through it. Chat seems to be working well. This is exciting. Let's see what... Huh? Hi. Okay. So, Paragon Superior. Now, the other two are have the maces. This one's going to carry the sword, obviously. I think it'll look the best. It'll kind of give her more of a sense of authority of the 3 of them. I will give her the eye patch that's already on the cover box. I think that's an appropriate look for her, and it kind of gives her that veteran look. The one with the flamethrower is probably going to have like a gas mask looking thing, because of course, that makes sense. And the one that's charging is going to have a more ferocious face. Now, I debated this for a little while, but that Morven Ball figure, as she's coming down with that sort of divinity, I'm actually going to make her look calm. Because if you look at the Sanguinius model, or if you look at St. Michael, like art of St. Michael himself, he looks calm, right? Excuse me. And I think that's actually really, really cool. I think he should look calm, or she should look calm. And it kind of makes them a little bit scarier by doing that, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put these to the side while they finish drying and curing. Okay, and that way I don't accidentally bump into them, because that is a lot of wet glue and I am a clumsy fool. Alrighty. There. Now I've got my space back. Put some stuff away. Your space can quickly become a mess. That's okay, that's normal. You know, you're trying to do a bunch of stuff at once. So I'm just getting some extra bits in the way here so I can always see them. Throw that out because I don't need it. And then let's move forward. So, part 136 and 127. Let's get started. 136. There's also going to be an aspect of cleanup involved here. See, cutting these bits and everything produces a little bit of extra plastic, and you know, it'd be like that sometimes. So let's see here. Cut that, clean that up. There. And clean that. All good, all good. We are looking good. Just cleaning these up a little bit because it gets really much more annoying to do once you've made some progress in this. We don't want to mess with it too much. Alright, 136 and 127. There we go. The chat all of a sudden got kind of quiet. I hope y'all don't think that my stream went offline. That's okay though. I don't mind. You guys can just hang out, and I'm going to continue to clean up my bits here. Oh yeah, I have plenty. Oh, thanks for doing a quick check, Carly. But yes, I do have plenty of extra bits. So what's, like, for instance, here's one of the sprues with plenty of leftover parts. There's like extra faces here. I want to see if I can get it closer. There's extra faces there. Probably be easier to see if I position it towards the camera. But yeah, there's extra faces there. And you can kind of use whichever ones you want. And you're left with a bunch of extras. So you can kind of pick and choose and see what would be most appropriate for your model. And hopefully you have what you're looking for. I was looking through them earlier too. Now, some of them don't have extras necessarily, but like kits like this absolutely do. And they're good fun. It gives you some extra, you know, room for doing some interesting things. This really is such a pain in the butt to do sometimes. Okay, Sister Superior, get your leg on. There we go. Gluing that together. And I actually was looking through some of my older kits and trying to see if there's any of those faces that I prefer for some of my models as well. There's a lot of potential in a lot of them, but there are people out there who notice that you have enough extra bits even that if you get just a couple of extra, like a body here or a head there, you can build an entirely extra model with everything you have. And that's kind of cool. I have a bucket of bits, actually, that is an ever-growing... Here, I'll show you. This is an ever-growing pile of bits that I have and terrain, which you're going to see come into play later. But these are all bits that I've acquired through different means. These are all different parts from different modeling companies. There are competitors to GW, and it's also where I have my angel wings stored for that Morphin Ball model later, which is going to be good fun. That was a lot. I have several boxes of skulls, and I will show you why in a moment. So these are all skulls of different types, and the reason I have all that, I will show you through one of my own models here. Let's see, let's pull this one for instance. So here's one of my little standard models. It's not my best, but it's a standard model. And you notice the terrain that she's on has skulls and flowers. Now I have this entirely silly little like lore that I have made of these characters, where their convent was established on a it's skulls and like flowers and stuff. So their convent was established after a major battle happened, and wow, my painting sure has gotten better since this character. This is really good to see. Just because, you know, I can tell like this is earlier in my process, or I was probably speeding through this. That's okay. This is good to see. But their order was established after a major conflict on that planet, where a lot of them. Here's another one, for example, where here I'll even lower the light a little bit to make it easier to see. See? And so every one of them has at least one little skull there and flowers that go with it on the terrain. And that little bit extra really helps to make them look fantastic. This one, I added an eye patch to it. Hard to see, but let's give it a try and see what we can do here. There we go. That gives you an idea of what we're talking about. It's not perfect, it doesn't have to be. But it gives you an idea of like the level of detail that we're going to be working with as we continue to paint and do these models. I painted this one a couple of years ago, and she has seen action several times. But yes, and they each follow this sort of color scheme. So I have a full army of these, several squads at least, and I have another one coming eventually. I have a whole box set. It's right by my feet actually. Right here, and it's a full box set of a whole lot of models. I've got a lot of other stuff. There's also these convicts. These are all convicted felons. I've got several of these that I have picked up. These are called arcoflagellants, and the deal with these guys is that they are criminals that have been made to, or choose to, probably didn't choose to because this sucks, seek redemption. So they cut off their limbs, they stack a bunch of arco whips on them, and then they pump them with as many drugs as possible, and then throw them at people, throw them at the enemy. And they will find their redemption on the battlefield. Yep, that's yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I have a few of them. They're pretty wild looking, and I've got a few more incoming that I have made. These are older models that I've made. I quite like them. They get pumped full of drugs and then thrown out into the battlefield to find peace through sort of martyrdom. Ain't that something? You can see that those drugs are directly injected into their spinal cord. When they're not being used, of course, what's happening is they are being forced to kind of watch propaganda for hours until they're crazy. It gets crazier than that. There's the Repentia. Here, let me see if I can pull one out for you. You'll probably like these, Carly. These don't wear a lot of clothes at all. These are Sisters of Battle, but they have, let me see if I can get her closer here. There we go. These are Sisters of Battle as well, but they have perceived that they have made some sort of wrong in their life. And that can be, I don't know, they missed mass. Or they didn't kill enough people on the battlefield. Or maybe they missed prayer at some point. I don't know. anything, right? So they become something called Sister Repentia. Either they volunteer for it or they're told they have to do it. And they take off their armor entirely. They get these giant swords, chain swords, and they also go and seek redemption. And they do it without the use of drugs because they don't need it. They do it. And they've got a bunch of piercings through their legs and stuff. They go in there with the blessing of God, or in this case, the God Emperor, and hope that they also can find their redemption on the battlefield. Usually they just die. So that's the Repentia for you. And there's a bunch of other, there's a bunch of different models like that. And the lore is different for all of them. There's one model that I really am excited to paint called the Palatine, and that will be the first time I've ever decided that I want to self-insert myself into my army. Because I watched, there's this paid service called Warhammer TV, and in it there's this character that is the rank of Palatine. And I got oddly emotional during that show because for the first time I got to see the sisters as I always imagined that they would be, and I thought it was so cool that they did them right, at least for the first 2 episodes. And the Palatine was talking about how, you can make mistakes, you can mess up, you can do things in life, but that doesn't prevent you or preclude you from doing good in your life, and anyone can find redemption. And I found that oddly moving. So I took that to heart, and I decided that if I were to want to be anyone in a Sisters of Battle army, I'd like to be the Palatine, which is somebody that can lead by example and act as a teacher as well as a holy warrior. And I don't know, I'm into that kind of stuff. It gives me hope, that this goes way more personal, but I'll talk about it a little bit. So I wouldn't consider myself necessarily very religious, but I will say I'm quite spiritual. I've studied Buddhism and I liked it quite a bit. I don't know if you and I have ever had the chance to talk about it personally, and you can stop me here if these conversations ever feel like, annoying. But I do like iconography, and I do like all the beautiful art associated with it. But I think there is something to be said to aspire to something greater than oneself. And, some people might think of that in the professional sense, which I think of too, where I come from nothing, and I've always tried to be something that they always told me that I never could be, whatever that might be. And the definition of that has changed throughout my life. But the saints and the Buddha are cool to me because they are human in every tangible way, and flawed, There's some that are criminals. There are some that were soldiers, Roman soldiers even. Saints come from every walk of life, and whether you believe in, divinity or not, they give us a chance to kind of look a little bit closely at the human condition, and they aspire to be just a little bit more. They aspire to be something that maybe is hard to do, which is, hell, simply being kind sometimes is hard to do for some people. And so by following these examples of people who have been tested in their own ways, either their faith has been tested, or maybe they've been, forced to live in unfair conditions, I think you and I could certainly understand that more than anyone, whether as soldiers ourselves or for what we are on the spectrum. I think there is something to be said for aspiring to be good in some way, or aspiring to be better, or aspiring to be better than who we were yesterday, and even providing an example to those who might think that it's too difficult to do, which it happens. Oh, for some reason I thought I had done like the wrong connection to the wrong thing, so I completely distracted myself. Which is why I also like the angelic, because now that, the more you learn about that, it's impossible. Which I also find kind of an interesting thing. I got into a conversation with a gentleman in Turkey when I was visiting there recently, and we spoke theology for a little while, and he he thought I was a Christian, which I thought was very sweet, and in a way I am. But in a way, more realistically, I'm kind of not. I don't fit all the criteria for it, certainly. I am really not a church-going person. I'm no Ned Flanders for sure. I am quite a slut, and I always have been, and I probably will always be. And I like to drink, and I like to smoke, and I like to be a moron. And I have been all my life. So, hold on. We were talking about the angelic, because as you do, you talk about holy things when you're in a souvenir shop in Turkey. And he had given me a... Yeah? Oh no. Well, he was telling me about the angels, because we were just talking about angels, and I was talking about how much I liked them. I don't know how that conversation came up. I might have just been wearing something. And he's like, you know, the funny thing about the angels is they're almost kind of envious a little bit. Not that they really do, because angels are already perfect. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool for being like that. And such, they have nothing to aspire to. They're already perfect, and the struggle of trying to be good and trying to be perfect or trying to be divine is completely lost on them, because apparently they are perfect beings. Now, whether you believe in angels or not is fine. I don't care. I don't really know a lot of things. But I will say it was kind of cool to hear that, because it just kind of talks about the human condition a little bit, and we're always just trying to be a little bit better than what we were. And it's always been, huh? Hold on, can't say something. There you go. So angels do not get to experience the feeling of trying to do better and succeeding in it. And in a way, that's almost beautiful. We get to try. Carly, the other day you got to fight for the little guy, you know, the ones who cannot stick up for themselves. You got to do something, and you got to succeed in fighting for something. There are people that will go their entire lives not fighting for anything, not standing for anything. And you and I have been both on the wrong side and the right side of history, arguably, at different points in our lives. Now, before I continue to soapbox, why don't you tell me about the Turkish guy you got into a fight with the other day? I'm kind of curious. Turkish are really nice. Thank you, Kat. Are you feeling okay? Getting kind of tired? Yeah, are you okay? You should lay down on the couch or something. Are you good here? Okay. You want to pull you a little closer? Okay. So my wife is next to me, and she's just, she's not feeling too good today. And she's been kind enough to just let me do some modeling tonight, because I was having a really stressful day today, and I didn't realize, like, how on edge I'd been. There's just a lot of things coming at me right now, and really, these little sessions at night have been kind of therapeutic. You know, just having something to look forward to at the end of the day, something simple, something where there really isn't, like, you know, it's your own little world and you get to control it. And you get to make something beautiful for a change instead of just doing what you're told. And I'm usually pretty tired these days, but doing this takes my mind off of it for a little while and allows me to recenter myself. So, I'm going to read out loud what you're saying here. Because he asked me if I had ever been to Turkey. No, I won't spell it all stupid how they do. But I said, it's Turkiya. But I said no, but I've been to Kurdistan. He said it didn't exist, and so, it didn't go well for him. You made Cat laugh with that one. Carly, there's no, I'm glad we know you. It's what Kat said, and I'm going to echo that feeling, because that's only something you would say. And I mean that in a positive way. I'm pretty sure Kurdistan does exist. So I'm glad, and that was, again, kind of your thing right there. You fought for somebody that could not fight for themselves in that moment, right? And that's good. You're kind of a display of that example right now. And good on you for calling somebody out that fucking deserved to be called out. How dare he, diminish the identity of an entire people. That is not his right, and it is not his place. Hey, so far this build is going well. This is going to be a shorter stream than usual. I sent a shit ton of money to the PKK a while back. Oh god. I don't even know what the PKK is, but I get the feeling it's like a military...
The Kurdistan, like...
The
People's Liberation.
poor Kurdistan Commandos? Spelled with a K. I don't, I don't really know too much. Kurdistan Workers' Party. PKK stands for Kurdistan Workers' Party. You know what? I'll roll with it. I believe you. The spelling doesn't have to be right for the meaning to be right. It just is what it is. I get confused when I hear people, typically like people from DC, write the word child, Chile, because I read it as my father's country, Chile, every single time, because that's how you spell Chile. So I get kind of annoyed with that one, because that's not how you spell child. But there is a slang terminology here that I don't think I am meant to understand as a Hispaniard. And that's right. I would classify myself as that. That is suiting. Though they probably wouldn't care for it very much. Alrighty, now I'm just putting some pieces here together. Child versus Chile. And I am a little bit sleepy tonight. And this I really want to just do this all night. I'm so glad if we got to do at least a little bit of it, because it does so much good for me. And Carly, if you've never done any modeling like this before, I will invite you to try some the next time you're over. You don't have to be good at it. You can just build your model real quick, paint it, and see what you think. Yep, I have plenty of extra models, and we can build it, we can paint it, and you can see why so many veterans, and a surprising amount of veterans, like to do this. It's very relaxing and super chill. There it is. The music is now Studio Ghibli. I will roll with that. I will be comfortable with that. I will be happy with that. My cat was just snoring a little bit ago. I really like hearing that, because how lucky that a little creature that is so soft and sweet and innocent thinks that the safest place to hang out in this entire house is right next to you. I mean, I'm not always perfect. I can be very Latina about my emotions. But I can't be all that bad if a little cat decides that hanging out with me is kind of the way to go. 2 little cats. So again, I'm pretty hard on myself, and when I have days like today, I never quite think I'm getting it right. But, I sit down at the end of the day, paint some models, regain my sense of self for a little while, realize that maybe I'm not doing as bad as I thought. So that's okay. That I can work with. Okay, so we got the mid part here. Wow, I can't believe I'm building a whole nother PAragon in front of people. There's something about doing these streams that really just kind of chills us all out. I'm gonna have to finish a few parts of that other one, but the paint hasn't dried and I don't really want to tempt fate right now, so we're gonna do that later. Let's see, now I need to do 103, 105. I almost forgot that last time, so we're gonna make sure that we get this right this time. Now this is the PAragon Superior, so she's in charge, and now we have to find a pose for her that is different from that mid-as-hell box art. Now, thankfully, we already have a plan for Morven Val, you know, their leader, and that's cool, but that's also going to be a major pain in the butt to do later. Shit, did I just... 105. I cut the lower part, 105, and that goes in the back. Okay. Let's see, 103, 103. Let's see. 103, 103. I don't know where that 103 is. It's probably going to be in the most random ass location, because it always is. Where'd it go? I'm gonna make some tea for myself here soon and call it a night when it's time. That doesn't mean that you make it. I'd like to make the tea tonight. And just kind of have a little cuddle with my wife before going to bed. Ah, I found it, 103. Because she was gracious enough to give me a little bit of time here to just kind of stream and chill and get my mind right, because I don't think I've been... I think I've just been pushing myself a little too much this week. And I do look forward to this 3-day weekend. You know, you wouldn't think that. I really did just come back from a time off. But, you know, that didn't refresh me as much as I thought. I still came back to the same old problems, same old issues, same old nonsense. And, well, that's life sometimes, I suppose. Whoop, whoop, doobity bop. There we go. Get that back in there. And then stick that on that. Oh, we're very gay. We're very, very gay together. And that's kind of the beauty of it. If you're going to be in a gay relationship, you might as well gay it up as much as possible. I mean, isn't that ideal? If you're going to be with somebody and you're going to be gay, be gay. Look, these days, being gay seems like it's almost illegal, or it's getting to that point every day a little bit. And you have to live before you die, you know? Carly, I think you'll get that. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you. I was actually in a phone call today with well, I can't say who and I won't say who. But I'm trying to reinsert myself into the into national defense, and well, that means making calls to people at Space Command out in Colorado or whatever, and having conversations and asking them, you know, about their perspectives and stuff. So I've gotten some actually interesting information. I can, you know, talking about people like that, or you know, I talk to them and I'm always so surprised at how normal they are. People that I was raised to be so intimidated by are just like, damn near hapless in a way. Very, very normal people. To the point where it's like, you wonder if you're talking to an officer at all. 98, 101, 102. I don't know why I keep jumping from subject to subject, but it is what it is. 98. Alrighty. My friend Ian was supposed to pop in tonight, but I guess he just got busy. So, it's just gonna be a short stream for the three of you. And, it's all good. I'm not looking to gain 1 million followers. We're just looking to have a nice time, chill, talk. Maybe on Friday nights or Saturday nights I grab a drink and continue my little process here. I get to, at some point, I'm going to, what was I going to say? Do some painting. And I think that'll be a much more engaging part of the stream for people. Just, you know, doing this little thing, showing people some of the more beautiful aspects of doing this, because you would think that, you know, you just have to be good at modeling and that's it, but that is not the case. You have to be good at, well, you don't have to be good at it, but you have to do all of it. Oh, good. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask, since, you know, it's just us, I do a lot of talking, and I think that is what I'm supposed to do as a streamer, but what surprised me the most is that it just kind of happens naturally. And I just want to make sure that that's not one of the more irritating parts of coming onto the stream. Now, I know you wouldn't be listening or hanging out with me as I just kind of ramble and ramble and ramble, but if it's ever too much, well, I guess you always have the mute button if you ever need it. So at the end of the day, it's a moot point. But hopefully it's engaging enough that it calms you down a little bit as you work on your sewing. You know, actually, Kat did a sewing project herself today. I'll show you. She sewed together my panties. There was a tear in them. And, hold on, was it this side? Yeah. And it's like, what is it? Lace. So there was a tear in this lace, right? Because I like pulled off the tab or something and ripped or something like that. And yeah, because it was like really annoying and it didn't look good. And so I gave it to her because she's really good at sewing. She has a sewing machine on the other side of this table and everything. And she used like a little bit of toilet paper to like kind of get it together, stabilize it. And then she sewed my panties back together. Isn't that so cool? So now I have a nice pair of red panties again. And I got a Toyota machine sewing lace. Yeah, she was able to sew lace today, and she did it really, like, she didn't. I was like, hey, are you able to do this? And she's like, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. I took a ride in her Toyota Century today. We had a really long day, and we turned the kitchen all over the place, so I wasn't in a mood to cook, and I felt really bad about it, but we made a suggestion to go grab some pho, so we did. And I got it to ride in her Toyota Century. What Toyota machine are you talking about? Because I'm kind of curious to know what you're talking about. 101. Not that I want to distract you from what you're doing, but I am generally curious about what you're talking about. Are you talking about like a Toyota sewing machine? Because that would be kind of surprising to find out. And knowing Kat, she'd probably be about it. Oh! Loom? Carly says that it's an old, white, branded, Toyota-built sewing machine. Do you have a picture? Send us a picture over Insta or something. I'd be curious to see what those look like. If you don't have to do it right now, obviously. Oh wow, yeah, Carly says it right here. It's how they got their start. They made looms before anything else. Now, talk to me about loom. All right, I know I've been saying that. It's a meme from a game called Monkey Island. It was a popular point-and-click adventure game in the 90s. I love point-and-click adventure games. Yeah, you're gonna get a pint? Sounds pretty nice. I can't drink right now too much. I've gained too much weight on my adventures through Spain, so I'm trying to lose some weight because this August I'm doing a boudoir photo shoot with what the hell's the thing where they tie you up? Shibari. And I've got a certain pose I'm gonna see if they can set me up in. I don't really like to do shibari as much as like some of the others, but I do have an idea, and I had a suggestion from Kat, and I can't quite resist. So I'll be doing a lot of nudity. Yeah, I think I would really love to see that. Yeah, the boudoir shibari seems like it's going to be a really fun idea with a sword, and you saw the sword yesterday, so you know what that's about. You know what that means. So I want to. It's going to be. You came at a pretty late time. Hey, Ian. Carly's here, and she's been keeping me company. Um, I've started on the third PAragon Warsuit, drawing the other one because I've just pinned it with some wire. But I'll show you all in a little bit what I did there. But right now I'm just cleaning up these pieces. But we were just talking about the boudoir photo shoot I'll be doing this summer. So I'm trying to lose some weight for it right now because I had a little bit too much fun in Greece, as one does. And it's gonna be like 12 other girls that are there or something. One of them is Kat. So our intention, not to be bitches, but our intention here is to kind of mog on all the other girls because we're bitches. But you know what? It's a friendly competition. Friendly, very friendly. But it's a fun photo shoot. They do have to you have to have somebody vouch for you, which we did. Um, Before all that happened. And then we met with the photographer online. I think he just kind of gave us a quick evaluation before being like, oh yeah, definitely. Which he did immediately as the call started. So I think he's excited to shoot us as we are excited to pose nude. I don't mind nudity. I just want it to be done tastefully. I'm not really looking to get into too much fetish. What I want to do is I want to enter 40 um, pretty, beautiful even. And I'll even put an Instagram post about it. This is 40. Um, so that it looks, I don't know, so that I think a lot of people are afraid of aging. Surprisingly, I'm kind of not, because the more that I think about it, I wouldn't want to be, um, I wouldn't want to be any of the other ages that I have been so far again. And unless by some magic I could be who I am now, but at that, with all the knowledge and everything, I'm happy with where I am in life right now, and I don't feel a need to go back in time. Great, I'll check out that photo in a little bit because I'm not going to be on the stream that much longer. I just want to make some progress on this piece over here before the end of the evening. Okay. And I'm just putting these, they really just have you be out here just sticking the tiniest thing onto the tiniest other thing and calling that making a model. This is so frustratingly small. And I think Ian, you were talking about a needless amount of sticking things on other things that don't really need to be set from it. It's so dumb. Honestly, at this point, they can almost sell these models built, but I do take a lot of joy in custom doing them, so I'm not going to. I would probably be not the person to conform to it. Yes, so I think, well, this one should be dry enough at that point. So number one is, let's get it nice and close. So just for context, in case anyone's wondering, these are the poses they give you to do, which I find them to be very flat and very boring and kind of, for what they are, it's just that's so boring. So here, the idea here is to give them a more dynamic pose. This one's running and charging at someone. I don't have the head in there yet because I want to paint that and model that separately before attaching it, which makes sense, I think. So we even have the flowing cape in the back. I decided to go with raggedy looking tabards in the front because if Morven Ball herself is using something raggedy, which she is, there is no reason why these nuns wouldn't be doing the same. Okay, and this is the other one, and she's got a flamer pointed at somebody, and she is about to slam them down with her magic wand. And that is another model that we have completed. This one still requires just a couple of bits, but I just pinned her and I dug I put a a hole right through her ankle, so I'm kind of like letting her dry, but this gives you an idea of what we're doing here. I was talking on the chat tonight about what my plan is for Morven Ball, and I even showed a picture of the Sanguinius model. And there we go. For the Sanguinius model, and how I like them to kind of be parallel to each other in a way, like be like the Sanguinius model. So that's my goal with that, at least. I hope I can pull it off. I think I can pull it off. Now I just stick 99 on there, so I'm going to cut that. But it's going pretty well. I'm just constructing, like, the reason why I decided to just focus on these PAragon Warsuits, I think I mentioned in the other streams before this, is I wanted to get some practice on building these warsuits because they're rather complex, and the most annoying part about it is how to deal with the cabling issue. But I think I've got a handle on that now, and now that I have that going for me, I've got just kind of cleaning this up here. I think I have a good idea of how this is gonna work, and we're gonna there, almost cut myself there, but not too much. And then it gives me enough experience so that I can, remodel and alter the pose of Morven Ball without feeling like it's too daunting a task. Not that it ever really is, but I just have more experience so that I can see if I can not just make it look good, but great. And that's kind of the joy of it, isn't it? So there's that. So now I'm just kind of, now I know like what are the pieces that I can put together at an early point, what are the pieces to hold up on until later, what to attach early, what to attach later, and what gives me the ability to be flexible with their poses until I decide that it's time. It's exciting because I don't know how many others have decided to go this route. I'm sure some others have, but it's annoying, and I guess most people are looking to put a model on the table as fast as possible, but that's just not how I roll. I want to really make them look good. I think that brings me a lot more joy, is to have an impressive looking model first and foremost. And I think that does so much more than just doing something basic, right? Like why go a little ways when you can go all the ways, right? And so I don't do minimums. If I'm gonna do something, I go all out. No minimums allowed in this way. Alright, so this is gonna be the PAragon Superior. So of course she came last also. Giggity. But she came last, and oh whoops, I cut that too soon. And I wanted her to, I wanted to have a bit more experience before even tackling her. Now I think Morven Ball has a bit more size on these PAragon Warsuits, and her model is a little bit different, but ultimately, the basics are going to stay the same here, and designing her is going to be one part callousness, because you just have to take a chance at a certain point, and, trust yourself that you have the skill to make up for the mistakes as you need to, and hope that it works out the way you want it to, just like all things in life. Where is the little, alright, try not to smash this with that and all of a sudden have everything flying around. There's a little piece that I'm looking for. I must find it now. 28, 29. Where's that? Hold on, I need to search for something because it's not very well labeled. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? My voice is a bit scratchy tonight. Hopefully I'm not getting... Go smoke and have a pint, girl. You've earned it. And I hope that sewing project is going well. There. Found the piece that I was looking for. Excellent, excellent. This is very good. We're making good progress here. Now, music sounds very familiar to me, and I know it's going to sound obscure, but it is definitely some of the sound effects are from the Chippendales Rescue Rangers Nintendo game from like 1986 or 1987. I know that because I played that a lot as a kid, to the point where it is definitely like a core memory. Okay, shoulder pads. We need shoulder pads. Just like an 80s girl. Let's see now, 29. 29, 29. Oh, I have that upside down. Let's see here, 29. 29. And I'm assuming this is 28. Yes. Perfect. This is gonna look really good. Alright. See, I can't smoke right now because part of my stress is I'm looking for, well, I'm preparing and looking for possibly another job. You know, I like my job and everything, but I don't really trust anything. So everything's stable. I'm not in a dangerous position. But it's always good to keep your ears peeled. And, oh no. And I have dropped a piece. I will be back. I have to go searching. Now, this does happen sometimes. I found it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Get that back in there. Whew, that was scary. Sometimes you'll drop a piece and it just disappears forever. And you're just sort of dealing with that for a while. Let's see here. I did start my own business. I co-founded a business actually. But, you know, I'm only a co-founder, and the circuit is a very difficult and stressful thing to do. And what I value the most, more than anything even, is stability. So I want to make sure that I have nice, stable income all the time. Plus, my ambitions are a bit more specific. I really like the national security stuff. I want my talents to be used correctly. And sometimes I get a little bit flustered with the current state of my role. So what's been nice is like it's actually given me space to do my own thing. Offer private security? No. I don't need to have a reason to show my feed. Actually, that's my cat cam. But the cat never seems to want to walk through there, so I just leave it on for when they might want to walk through there. Not my fault that it doesn't show up. I hope I'm getting this right. I think I'm messing this up. Hold on a second. Give me a sec. Oh, I have messed something up. Hold on a second. See, mistakes can happen at any time. What have I done wrong here? There. Oh, it's not so bad. Oh, I thought I really messed up. Actually, that's not a bad way to do that. I've learned something new. Oh, but that also complicates that. 1 second, I need to smash my way through this. I don't think anybody needs me to be their manager. I am not that great. I kind of bring a very lax approach to just about every role I take. And I know that doesn't sound like me, but after visiting Europe enough times, you realize that it is not always healthy to live to work. I don't think I'd like to kill anything. I don't kill. I only love and feed people. That's all I do. I don't kill. Well, I don't think you've ever actually killed anything in your life. Because people who often say that never have. And I always, and if you are a killer, you should probably turn yourself into the local police. Because I don't think you actually would kill somebody in legitimate combat. You don't strike me as a type. You strike me as a type that, like, gets rejected by enough women and then goes on a killing spree at a church somewhere. That's just my thought to it, though. Sorry to call you out. It's just what I see. You know, the incel types. Okay, what? Voluntary then. You don't have to be an incel to be an incel. You can be a volcel, you know? Like a monk. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming you. Don't be upset. Don't be mad. It's okay. No one's judging you. Maybe other women are, but not me. I'm very chill. What are you talking about? Who talks like that? Do you think soldiers talk like that? I feel like I'm being trolled right now. I feel like you're just trying to troll actual veterans. Nobody talks like that. To make smoke. Yeah, you definitely sound like, you know, who the fuck are the tangos? Who is the tangos?
I like the tango, yeah.
Tango dancing is fun. I'll do that. Notice the veterans in the room don't know. No, he's just kind of an incel. He won't admit it, but I think he's just watched way too much anime. Or some shit. We've got some really good progress going on here. While you've been telling me about the tangos, I built this chassis piece. And she's looking pretty good. She's a bit more elaborate than the other pieces, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now, I don't think it's his. I think it is. I think it is his first language, English. I think he really, really he wants to be a Marine. I've been trying to convince him to join. You don't create smoke in your house. What the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna like hurt people one day, and people are gonna look at this live stream and be like, "This is now evidence to the government." And now I gotta deal with your nonsense while you're in jail and be like, "I don't know, Your Honor. I guess that's the guy. I'm just building Warhammer models and listening to incels tell me about how they smoke out their boyfriends or something, or whatever." Why don't you just come out of the closet already? That's what we're really waiting for. You know? It's okay, like, you can be gay. Like, no one's gonna be judging you for it. Like, we already know. So, like, just go ahead, it's okay. No, you're not violent, you're just gay. And, you know, the sooner you come out as gay and come out of the closet, you know, there's only so many Pornhub site searches you can go through in a day before it starts seeping through your pores. And I've seen your Instagram, buddy. You're not hiding it. But, you know, you can think whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to give this girl a machine gun. Well, I don't really want to give her a machine gun. I feel like kind of giving her another plasma gun. I don't know. Let's see. This girl has the option of getting a plasma gun, which is great for taking down tanks, a flamer, which is great for taking down fucking anything, and a machine gun, which is great for machine gunning. Personally, I kind of want to give her a plasma gun because if I want anybody to take down tanks, it's going to be these girls. Why are you gray? Look, if you didn't want to lust after me, you wouldn't be watching my stream, right? And I'm not even trying to get anyone to lust after me. You just happen to lust after somebody who's fucking sitting here building models and who has a camera for their cat who doesn't walk by enough. Ooh. pepperoni is a good option, but I tend to go a more vegetarian route. So if you really want to go do something kind of interesting with yourself, um, hmm, I would say yellow peppers and pineapple is actually a surprisingly good combination. Um, like the yellow spicy peppers. I think Papa John's does that. It's actually quite good. Surprisingly. Yeah, look, you don't, there is like 4 people in this chat. You can just tell people you're gay at this point. No one's gonna judge, you know? We already know, you know? It wouldn't make sense to hide at this point. It's okay, Habibi, it's okay. It feels better when you cut them out, and then you can put all the pineapple pizza you want. I mean, I really wouldn't be gay to anal me, because there's nothing gay about me aside from I'm bisexual. You would just be having anal sex with a woman. But again, I ask you, sir, why are you so desperate to have anal sex with women when you can just have anal sex with a twink? Or in your case, a daddy. But you probably want daddy to do it to you. I'm just saying, you know, I've got your number pretty much picked out already. I know what's going on with you. You're not hiding. Anyway, I think for the leader character, we can go for a pretty simple pose. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her the pose that Morven Ball has, which is surprisingly more boring, but I want her to be telling the other 2 what to do. So I'm going to have her point her sword forward and have her gun lowered. I think I prefer her to have a plasma rifle just because it's so cool. And I think that's kind of the plan here. So we can actually start positioning her for that. Now, all I really have to do is contort her, but that's so boring though. Well, I'm going to build parts in the meantime, but I just feel like so much more can be done with her. I'm going to have to think about this one. This is a reverse psychology, my ass. Your psyops ain't working. I'm dense to the point and retarded as fuck to not be affected. You might be retarded, but something is clearly affecting you. There is no blood going to that brain. Jesus Christ. There is so much going on in that brain of yours, or a whole lot of nothing as far as I can tell. Here, you do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. No one's judging you here. Yeah, see, like, I think Icy Deal makes a really good point here. You're already kind of doing it for me, you know? You're on the subject a lot more than anybody else in this chat. The rest of them have been talking, you know, Warhammer stuff with me, or asking me questions about the lore, or you've just been talking about theology, but you are talking straight up about my booty hole, and as much as I do enjoy anal, you need to come out of the closet. It's just, it'll help you a lot, son. It'll help you. You can get out of that closet. Get down from there.
Stay on business. Get down from there.
Yeah, you don't know what business you're talking about. You're in the sandbox. We're at the gun store, okay? You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. The make no sense kind. I think you're my biggest fan and you don't even want to admit it. But I've never had anybody want, well, no, I can't say that. There are probably a few people who want in my ass, but you're the only one to be that open about it on this Twitch. That's an impressive and somehow sad feat of yours. See, like, what are they... get down from there. That was...
Stand on business.
Get down from there. Get that shit out of your mouth. You don't know where that's been. Okay. I kind of want to put grenades on this girl too, so everybody has grenades, and I'm gonna give her a plasma gun. That much I've figured out. Now, I think the only difference in the pose is I'm going to just tweak it slightly. It's not going to be that big of a difference from the original pose. but I am going to have her sort of pointing at something. I don't think... How much porn do you watch, Cool Jacket Man, for you to think that that's how this works? Because I suspect your hard drive is a sad thing. Yeah, I'm gonna give all the girls grenades.
Oh yeah.
All the girls are getting grenades. Okay, so I'm going to just start sticking these legs on. This is just going to make a lot more sense once I start like just straight up building it. This is probably the easiest one of all of them is the superior, because she's just going to get that Morven Vol-ass stupid pose, which is simple and mid, but it makes my life easier, and all I have to do is not change her... oh, that's too boring actually. Hold on, let me change something. I already hate how her feet are positioned, and we're just not going to do it that way. And I have said this by Allah's grace. So give me a second while I make my modification. There. Because I like to model my girls how I want to model my girls. There. And there. Okay. Alright, Carly, thanks for hanging out with me. It is getting kind of late, and as much fun as I'm having modeling, I should get some rest and cuddle my wife for a while. Sorry you couldn't stay on for too long, Ian, but I guess talking about my butthole is probably not the order of the day. Well, perhaps another night. Painting doesn't happen until after we're done building. That's just how it works, my friend. You're just gonna have to be patient. So learn to be patient. Patience is a virtue. They teach you that in the Bible. Write that down. There. This one's good to go, actually. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it, lock it, twist it. I think I know how I'm gonna do the body. So I'm gonna finish this up. And then make some tea. Oh, you don't want... I thought... I've seen people paint it like part by part, but that takes so long to do. And by the time you start gluing it, it actually makes it a lot harder to keep things in line. So I actually do not recommend doing it that way. And instead, do I have this reversed? Oh my god, I do. Oh, I have it backwards. I'm so dumb. No wonder it was so weird. There. No wonder that didn't make any sense. Here, I gotta put some more glue on that. I was like, why do I have this all messed up? Here. There. Yeah, I mean, you can do it part by part. I'm not saying you can't. Everybody has their own style. I'm just saying that's stupid, and it won't work very well. So you want to do it, you want to give yourself a little bit more, because it's all about efficiency, and there. This is how we're going to do it. She's going to be slightly curved, and that's how we're going to do this. That way she has that pose already. If anything, I can pull the Morven Ball model and use this as my reference, because it'll make it a little bit easier to... I've got it up there, so I'm going to use it to reference my stuff. And paint part by have a spray gun. Okay, yeah, your style is extremely dumb, but you know, you do you, boo. You do you. So what, did you graduate from high school, or what happened? What happened there? Like, is that racist to ask? Am I allowed to ask that? I think I am. I think it's okay that I ask that. It is it is racist. I just want to reiterate, it is. I'm just kidding. There's nothing racist about that. You brought this upon yourself. You graduated at the top of your class and fucking fapping, more like. You better not be fapping to my feed. That would be really weird. Well, actually, no, it is the internet. It's kind of expected. And I did bring this upon myself, actually, so you do have me there. Which side is the side? Okay, that's good. I got it. I mean, how many fingers do you really need to... You are not against the feed cam. You have not spoken out against the feed cam even once. At no point did you speak out against the feed cam. Call me a liar. Go ahead. I dare you. I double dare you. And you loved it. You love it. And besides, it's not a feed cam, it's a cat cam. Except my cat was not walking by there as much as she used to. So I guess it's just whatever happens to be on camera. Now stop calling it that, narc. This is the internet. Be cool. There we go. Yeah, you're under investigation. You ran over all those people. You should really lay low for a while. Kind of chill out a little bit, you know? Yeah, like, why would you tell me all your criminal plans? And now we have evidence against you. And now everybody's gonna come to my streaming site. Now everybody's gonna want to see what we do here. And now everybody's gonna learn about miniatures and your crimes. So this automatically becomes the most popular stream on the internet. All because of your loud ass. Yeah, but who's saying that you didn't do it, right? You didn't do it, but if you did, how would you do it? Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell on you. Don't be afraid. You can tell me. I don't know why I decided that I was gonna do it like this, but I chose this path. I consider this the path of pain, but I chose this path. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna get my my stream looked at. I'm not complaining. Again, uh, it's marketing 101, right? Even bad press is still press. And hey, maybe you end up becoming, like, honestly, you kind of look like one, because I know you. What if you end up becoming one of those murderers, right? Then, you know, I get really famous from having some, you know, future murderer on this thing, and I'll get interviewed and be like, yeah, I had no idea he was actually serious about it. Did he ever feel the need to report? Nah. And then I'll go speak to my lawyer. I probably have said too much by that point. But, you know, this is the internet. And a lot of people say a lot of things. So I'm just here painting Warhammer stuff. And I have plausible deniability because I am an idiot. And I don't know anything. And I'll never know anything because I am an idiot. And I have plausible deniability. So I am trying to get her to stand by herself. Ooh, I did it. And I'm giving her the Morven Ball pose. Now, I can't move her. I can't do shit at this point. And that pretty much is as much as I can do tonight because I don't want to mess that pose up. It looks sick as hell. Or at least it's going to look better than the original pose did. And she's going to be standing on like a gravestone or something. I don't know. I'll make something interesting up because she's the PAragon Warsuit. I do want to move her just slightly though. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. So I'm giving her a bit of a slightly elevated pose, and then I'm going to have her pointing her sword. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm giving her the pose that Morven Ball has. Excuse me. You're going to go eat your cousin's cum? Yeah, go for it. It's not really my thing, but, you know, the internet is a very vast and strange place, and there's a place for everybody. Well, not everybody. Okay, I think that's as much as I want to take it tonight. Giggity. Um, but that's pretty good for where we're at. I don't hate it. Um, I want to leave it like that so it can dry overnight. And then I'm just going to kind of torque her pose a little bit so that she's pointing her sword forward. And that'll look really good for our leadership unit. Um, Especially with that cool sword, it really emphasizes the epicness of that scale. And it doesn't overshadow Mervinball herself. So I think that's good for the evening. I think we've done a good job. Congratulations to everybody for showing up. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I know that these streams are kind of a silly way to spend the evening. I don't expect everybody to want to come to these every night, but I appreciate that you took the time to spend it with me. And if you ever have any questions, my Instaface is linked on my page. So message me, DM me, and let me know if you have any questions. Well, uh, have a good night, Ian. Have a great one. I appreciate you all, and I hope you all sleep tight tonight. Buenas noches.